After a decades-long presence, French troops are leaving Ivory Coast. It's the latest country in West Africa to demand their departure. From Mali to Burkina Faso to Niger and recently Chad, street protests have forced out France and its forces as countries in the region reassess their military and economic ties with the former colonial ruler. For Ivory Coast, it's an assertion of sovereignty.
C'est dans ce cadre que nous avons décidé.
It is within this framework that we have decided on the coordinated and organized withdrawal of French forces from Ivory Coast. Thus, the camp of the 43rd Marine Infantry Battalion will be handed over to the Armed Forces of Ivory Coast starting this January 2025.
With anti-French sentiments rising and elections due in October this year, it could also be a strategic decision by President Ouattara. But analysts warn French troops' departure could leave a security void.
The threats that Ivory Coast faces is a little bit different from the other countries in the sub-region. It does not have as much threat of terrorism like the other countries in the Sahel, but it does have its own threats, both internal and external, and so its ability to counter that threat would be tested.
Niger's military junta, in addition to kicking out French troops, is also coordinating a takeover or bans on French economic interests there. These include mining and telecommunications. In Mali and Burkina Faso, Russian and Chinese businesses are being given preference by the juntas there. France has about 600 soldiers in Ivory Coast, but still maintains a strong presence in Djibouti with 1,500 soldiers. In Gabon, it has 350. Since 2021, French troop numbers in Western Central Africa fell by 70% as pressure from citizens kept mounting on political leaders to re-examine relations with France. By withdrawing its military from Ivory Coast, France may be keeping its promise of reducing troop numbers in its former colonies, but it also underlines its waning influence in the region. Ahmed, Idris, Al Jazeera, Abuja.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.